So rappers who got ran through by the industry. Now y'all might be thinking, hey, what you mean ran through? That's a foul ass term. I mean, listen y'all, with that Diddy situation going on, ran through physically by these labels isn't even that crazy to say. But of course, y'all familiar with the channel know we're talking spiritually. So what does spiritually ran through by the labels mean? Well, let's talk, because we see it happen so much. It's when an artist is welcomed into the industry, and over the span of 5 or 10 years, they completely change their identity for the worse. Some completely change their look and some minorly. Of course we know people could change, I try to look at this logically, but what raises so much suspicion about something sinister going on behind the scenes in the music industry is the common theme and pattern that we all recognize these artists transform into. And that's that the industry takes these artists farther from God, sucks the masculinity out of them, and sucks the life out of them. Yes, they get blessed in the material world, but they suck the life out of these artists. Now, this is what y'all need to understand. This doesn't just happen. This men being feminine and degeneracy that is being promoted is some of the many agendas that are being pushed by the mainstream onto the youth. What do I mean? The people in power use frequency and propaganda to brainwash you, instill you with these false beliefs, keeping you in fear, and overall, they do all of this to farther you from God and how He created us to be. Whatever you want to believe, it doesn't change the fact it's a spiritual war going on. The music industry is just one of the lead contributors to keeping us in distraction, keeping us misled and at a low frequency. And if you're thinking, what are you saying? Nobody's plotting against us like that. It's not that serious, bro. What are you saying? Y'all will continue feeling unfulfilled because you don't realize that this matrix is working against you. As in these 1,000-year-old families who are at the top of these secret societies and recruit these artists and entertainers to be puppets and push their agendas. They need us in fear, distracted, always paying attention to these worldly events, not focusing on meditation, our higher self. If we lived in a society that revolved around meditation, we will understand that things of value hold no real value in this world, as in God gave us everything we need to survive. Of course, we're so indoctrinated into this society, we're not able to live like our ancestors did and have the survivor skills that they had. Although if we all lived as a higher self and lived in unity, the higher ups would no longer hold real power. They need to keep us like this so they can stay at the top. Without us, they're nothing, because we're all spiritually equal. And that's why the entertainment industry has to be demonic. There's a reason that so many religions and ancient texts warn us about what to avoid in life, yet the industry is almost based around all of that. So with these artists, they join this demonic industry revolved around destruction and power. Sooner than later, they will be consumed in the darkness themselves. And don't let all these riches they have fool you. They are simply puppets with material blessings, but they are fully consumed in this world. And you don't realize, no matter who you are, no matter how much you suppress your conscience, you cannot hide from how you feel. And because all this destruction they're causing in the spiritual world, this darkness manifests into their physical reality. That's why they're completely different than who they were before they were in the industry. They never be like that if it weren't for the industry. That's why I say ran through. Y'all ever met a girl who was mad innocent when y'all first met? She went on demon time, it changed her whole values. And you could say that happens to dudes with drugs. When you start partaking in things that have dark energy to it, have a low frequency to it, you will be affected in the spiritual world, which will manifest into your physical reality. Now, I feel like an obvious first artist I can name is Playboi Carti. Hey, you're tripping, that's an aesthetic, bro. You're always getting on Carti. The fact that even if it's for an aesthetic, y'all would just be okay with him disrespecting God. Why would you pick him over God? Now, I know a lot of y'all don't see it that deep, but you guys need to understand, no matter what you believe, the world is spiritual and there's an electromagnetic field around you right now. There's spells being casted with every word you say. There's thought patterns that are keeping you at a low frequency that these artists are doing to you. So just the fact that so many youngins are worshiping somebody who's mocking God, it's mind-blowing to me.
Bro, it's just music.
All people who like to say things like that, and with Carti's tattoos, his merch, his image, everything about him, they like to say it's aesthetic. Let me break this down to y'all. Even Cash Carti was down with the industry. What do I mean down with the industry? He took the oath of secrecy. He's a Mason. What does that mean? Well, the world in general, but specifically the industry, is run by Masons and the Boule. And once you get through this door, this is where these inhumane rituals and sinister acts tie back to. Because the Masons, the Boule, they are occultists. They use black magic for worldly possessions. They don't look up to the same God we look up to. And with Carti, he was basically recruited to become a puppet for these higher ups. While some people are in the industry but not really involved in the industry, Carti came to a point where the people around him saw his impact, he seen his impact, and he knew he could go to that next level. But when you're a Mason, it's not as easy as just dropping good music and getting a wave of people to fuck with you. Nah, it's deeper than that. It all goes back to when I tell you guys that the industry is not about talent, it's who's willing to comply. So Carti's not going to be able to get to this next level without the industry backing him up. But they'll only back you up if you're pushing destruction. The second you don't, you're done. Look at NLE Choppa. He got set up and framed, and he told us exactly what happened. But of course, the mainstream media swept that under the rug. I made a whole video on that too if anybody's interested. But with Carti's new aesthetic, as he ranked up and became more successful, he was naturally falling deeper in the industry. And the more consumed you are in this industry that's consumed by darkness, like I said, it manifested from the spiritual world into his physical reality. The industry is what created this new Carti. He would have been a totally different person for the better if he never got involved with it. But they find these rappers in their most vulnerable moments when they're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into music just trying to get recognized, unaware of what goes on behind that door they can't see. And honestly, when I say an artist gets consumed in the darkness and it shows in their physical reality, I instantly thought of Youngboy as well. Now the difference is, Youngboy was never healed. He was broken before he signed. But y'all need to realize, the industry ran through this man and took advantage of him because his drug addiction and trauma from the streets, accompanied by this famous rap career, it only made him glorify his destruction. Yes, this brought him all the riches in the world, but do y'all guys realize that was the worst possible mixture spiritually? And this is why Youngboy is always going through it. People are like, yo, he got millions. Why is he always doing this dumb shit? Because Youngboy doesn't understand. You cannot hide from how you feel. He's trying to suppress it, but you can't get rid of it. And on top of everything he already had to deal with, his conscience knows he's pushing destruction to the masses. He's working for the devil, just like Carti. And what's killing him is making him rich. It's such a trap for these artists, and the only way they could fall back is if they accept that they're not going to be as rich. Now, I talk about Youngboy so much on this channel that if you watched any of my other videos, you know he's been ran through by this industry. Justin Bieber's been ran through by this industry. Kid Cudi's been ran through by this industry. You could even say Kanye. I know people think Kanye is above the industry. Nah, he's not. And yo, let me go back to Justin Bieber for a second. He was being sexualized to all these women and he was so young. The spiritual battle that the entertainment industry brought this man, I'm not sure if any amount of money could fix that trauma. And that's the reoccurring pattern on how the industry runs through these dudes. They already catch them when they're weak and vulnerable and have these issues, and top that off with the demonic energy this industry has, you're done. It turns them into a straight puppet. Some of y'all might be waiting for me to say Uzi, and while he wasn't that zesty in 2015 when he first came out, I did watch some interviews. He's always had that same vibe to him, and this video is more about artists we saw just completely change for the worse and become such a different person. This is really so wild to me, and we even see it with actors, like this whole Dan Schneider thing. I'm telling you, it's not just rappers. The whole entertainment industry is evil and will do whatever to keep their power. And man, I'm gonna say it one more time, you can't hide from how you feel, and that's what even the fans notice about certain artists. Yeah, the casuals don't think twice about it, but I always think to myself why so many of my favorite artists are always geeked up and not just smoking real quick. These dudes is real pill heads. These dudes is sipping drink all day. They're escaping reality. They clearly can't face something, and it's what they had to do to get that money that they can't face. Now, what artist comes to your mind when you think of artists who are ran through by the industry? And of course, in this video, I focused more on the spiritual side and what it means to be ran through by the industry. But if y'all want me to make a part 2 focusing more on artists, just comment down below because I'll definitely bang that out. But from this video, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. You manifest what's going on in the spiritual world, so it's very important to take care of yourself and surround yourself with positive energy. Bad habits and negative energy lead to a low frequency. A low frequency leads to uncertainty and feeling like you're not enough. And you can't be feeling like that in life if you're trying to evolve and reach certain goals. You need to be raising your vibration, meditating, and taking care of yourself. I'm gonna make a video on my grounded channel on how to raise your vibration, but like I always say, one piece of advice is that there's nothing real right now besides the present moment. And you have no idea how much you can get done when you're not scrolling or watching TV or doing some bullshit that serves no purpose. And just remember, y'all, I'm not trying to sell you guys nothing. I'm somebody who at one point in my life wasn't feeling that good, and I learned this philosophy, I learned this way of living, and it just changed my entire life. I've never looked back. I don't say any of this to be rude or come off hard. I'm really trying to help y'all evolve in life. If you don't have any plans for the future, start with meditating. Sit there and try to organize a game plan. And when you start something, it's like the headlights at night. You only see what's in front of you, but when you keep going, you see it just expand on and more options and a better understanding of what you're doing. But man, y'all be cool, y'all be smooth. Go join my Discord, sub to the second channel, and most importantly, y'all, stay patient. I'm gonna catch y'all.